got game and pulled out his own Atari. I said sorry, I'ma have to pass like Nash to Amari. Tiger up early on a Sunday, sinking birdies while the pigskin spinning through the air, taking birdie. It's a TD, it's a TKO, a home run, it's a hat trick. Ain't no way to be an all-star without practice. So if you down to sacrifice your life for a draft pick, it's a pretty sweet position you can live in if you have some things in the air. If you got game, wiggle like you just don't care. If you got game, playing like you got no fit, and you got game. If you came here to win, you got game.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to We Talk Raw here at rBeatz.com. My name is Annaliese Pearl, and today we have a very special guest in the studio. From Love is Blind Season 6, we have Chelsea Blackwell with us today. Yay! She is an event coordinator as well as a previous flight attendant, and she's here to talk with us about Love is Blind as well as what it's like inside as well as outside the pods. Chelsea, thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to chat.
I'm excited too. How are you feeling right now? How are you feeling today?
Amazing. It's been a crazy day, but I'm so pumped to be here and set some time aside to get into all things life and pod talk and all of it.
Absolutely. Well, I just want to say first off, congratulations. I think you're engaged now, correct?
No,
you're not? No. Oh, I thought I saw an engagement post. I'm sorry. Love that.
No.
My bad.
No worries. Glad we could clear that up.
Yeah, glad we could clear that up. Oh
I've actually had a bunch of people stop me out and be like, oh my gosh, are you engaged? I'm like, no. I just wear, these are my Amazon rings.
I love that though. Yeah, we need to start because I also wear rings like that.
Normalize it.
Exactly. Of course. Well, I want to start off with you and your journey. So you first started off in your career as a flight attendant and you eventually transitioned into event coordinating. I want to know how did you get started with both those careers?
You know, I love to travel, and so I've been flying for about 10 years, and I just really have got to see so many cool places. I got to meet so many cool people, and it's been such a wonderful job. Just left it. I put myself in such a good spot where I was able to leave. God bless. So super exciting and super pumped for that. And then event planning, I plan weddings. I plan all sorts of events in the Charlotte area and, elsewhere. So that's been super fun too. I've had massive, cool, extravagant weddings that are under my belt, which is so awesome. So yeah, I've loved it. And I love seeing love and celebrating and celebrations. So getting into that space was a no-brainer for me.
Well, it only makes sense then for you to go on a reality TV show where love is the center focus.
Does it make sense though?
I think it does.
It did.
We love that.
Yeah,
so
we love love.
Let's talk about that. So in the show, everyone has to go in these rooms called pods. And I wanted to kind of know more about how you got casted, what was that process like, and getting involved with them.
Yeah, getting casted was a wild journey. I had everyone and their mom reaching out to me being like, Love is Blind is coming to Charlotte. You need to apply. And I thought, there's no way. And there was a way. Don't ever tell yourself that. So I applied and heard from them the very next day. And it was like a 6 to 7 month process of psych evals and all sorts of things. And pictures and interviews and questionnaires. It was the craziest, gnarliest journey, but you want to make sure you're covering all your P's and Q's before sending someone on a reality show.
Absolutely. Yeah, they're doing their job. They're just making sure that they've got the best of the best on that show. So, all right. Well, in the show, everyone has to go in these rooms called pods. And can you give us some details of what it was like being in those pods? Were there sound speakers? When it came to talking to other people? What was that journey like?
It was wild. It was so crazy because you don't know what to expect. So going into this cubicle where there is surround sound and a little frozen wall. It just reminds me of Frozen from Disney.
Yeah.
And that is it. It is the tiniest little cubicle. There's alcohol in there. There's snacks. They have you set up.
Thank goodness. Yeah. Oh my goodness.
Yes. A little liquid courage definitely did not help, but whatever. So yeah, it was really cool to be in a pod and really experience the whole sound, and it feels like you're right next to the person, which is just crazy.
Amazing. Well, it definitely adds to the experience for sure, I'm sure. So in the pods, you met two guys, Jimmy and Trevor. And you stated in the show that you were previously married. If you feel comfortable sharing, did either of their reactions impact your decision on who to choose?
Something's not shown. It's so long ago too, which is so silly. Like the whole experience. Oh, for sure. Jimmy did not react in a way that I thought he would have because he just had some news from Jess as well on the very same day, and we both didn't realize. She was telling him, she had a child, and I was telling him, hey, I used to be married. That's a lot for someone to take on. So he definitely reacted in a way where it kind of made me a little nervous. But Trevor, on the other hand, was like, that's dope. Like, cool. I love that you're ready to get married again. So it was just, Jimmy getting so much information and then Trevor just not really having anything except me to hear about. So it wasn't too crazy though.
That's good to hear, at least, because sometimes I'm sure when you go into a reality TV show, there can be a lot of pressure, especially in a setting where you're like, oh my goodness, like there's cameras everywhere. Did that sort of impact your behavior on how to, talk to people and react on the show in general?
I wish it did. I wish I cared that there were cameras on me. I really didn't care, and I think I threw myself into this, crazy situation where I was like, I'm going to be raw, I'm going to be authentic, I'm going to act like this is just day-to-day life, and it really wasn't. It was the craziest experience you could ever put yourself in. So putting myself in front of a camera and completely erasing the cameras probably wasn't the smartest thing. I probably should have been like, hey, people are going to see me cry. Maybe hold back the tears a little bit, sister, but I did not. So I am grateful for not caring that the cameras were there, but it was weird to get used to, for sure. Yeah.
Do you feel like you having a raw and authentic reaction to, maybe what the other contestants were saying, do you think that elevated your experience a lot more on the show?
As of how America views me, or just my experience?
I would say how the production pushed you as the forward person.
I think that they said, this girl does not give two craps about the cameras. Let's, put all these scenarios in her storyline. But it worked out. So, yeah.
Do you think that the producers on the show have a bigger play on the storyline?
Absolutely. They know what they're doing. That's why they get paid the big bucks. I don't think that it's necessarily a bad storyline. I think they see something and they're like, you know what, this is a good plot. They're storytellers at the end of the day, and it sucked for me, but it was a good story. It was good TV.
It was good TV, I will say. Yeah. But I want to talk about your experience with going online. You went viral on the show for a conversation that you had with Jimmy, where he asked you about your appearance, and you said that people have stated that you look like Megan Fox. But the internet took that clip out of context and have tried to paint you in a light that is very untrue to your character. How has that viral moment impacted your life outside the pods?
It is so funny. People think it digs at me, and it really doesn't. It really doesn't. It was just such a silly moment that everyone was having. Everyone was comparing their celeb lookalikes. I said three people, that sometimes I get it on the plane. I also said Adele and Katy Perry.
Absolutely.
But of course, they just stuck with that. I chose to say the hottest girl in the world. Come on, sis. So it ended up being really funny, and I'm grateful for, I don't want to say put me on the map, but I could have been a mean girl, or I could have been, had a whole different storyline. And if people are just making fun of me because I don't look anything like the hottest girl in America, I'll take it. It is what it is. So it is just so funny that it's still a conversation. People will see me out and be like, you do resemble her. I'm like, please don't do this to my mental health right now.
I know, but I you walked in and I was like, no way that she kind of does.
Though. You're so silly.
No, you do though. You're so gorgeous, and I'm just like,
so are you. I appreciate it.
Thank you. I love this for us. Yes. Well, with being on a reality TV show, there seems to be a tendency for the show to take certain clips out of context and use maybe a side glance or a reaction for something that wasn't meant to be in that moment. were there any other moments in the final edit that you felt misrepresented you in the context of the final edit?
Absolutely. You know, that is something unfortunate when it comes to reality TV and signing that contract. You really are signing your life away. And you're like, okay, you know, however you paint me, I accept. Yeah. And so there were so many situations in my specific story where I was having these reactions, and I am emotional, and I'll never apologize for that. I am definitely someone who feels emotions very big. But what we aren't seeing is, why is she reacting so extreme to this situation? Yeah, so that is definitely something that is, you know, cut, and they only have so many hours they can play with, and your girl does not, you know, hide these emotions and these tears, and so they're like, let's stick with this and not really show why she's, you know, feeling or reacting this way. So it is unfortunate, but yeah, I am an emotional girly. Yeah. That's that.
And there's nothing to apologize for about that. I think it creates an authenticity that we don't often see a lot, especially within media. Like there are some reality shows nowadays where it's like we're barely getting that much of like something to work with here.
Yeah, come on, we don't need to be robots. We need to normalize expressing and having uncomfortable conversations that do bring out emotions. I think that's so healthy in a relationship, but not in this one. So it was unfortunate, but it worked out. You know, it really did. At the end of the day, everything worked out.
And now you're living your best life, and you're doing exactly what it is that you need to be doing and that you want to be doing. And I love that for you. So let's discuss once the show was released on Netflix, they were very quick to pit you and Jess together, who was like you were in a love triangle with on the show. What did you make of that situation?
You know, it's so silly because we really didn't know. We both were, I thought she broke up with him when she told him she had a child. She thought I broke up with him because of his reaction of her being married. And then I said something in the pods. We had no idea. She had a hint. Yeah, it was chaos. So, and this was early on.
That explains so much context that like they didn't give us, like, because I was watching that and I was like, wait, you can break up with people and like have that be an actual break?
Oh yeah. Oh, it's crazy. It's literally like the Hunger Games. Like you list the people you want to see, and we both were on the same page that we got rid of Jimmy. We're like, okay, he didn't have the reaction we wanted to my past marriage and her having a child. So we never had a conversation. Hey, you're dating so-and-so. I did not want to go into the pods like that. I'm a girl's girl.
Yes.
I know me. And if I knew one of my girlies was talking to someone I had interest in, I would completely remove myself from the situation. So it was a shock to see that people were saying like, oh, you only said the Megan Fox thing because you were trying to persuade him. No. It had nothing to do with that. So it is really interesting what they choose to show. But Jess is my girl, and we always got along, and we just both got screwed. So.
No, for real. Are you still close with her? Like, you still hang out with her?
I haven't seen her in a while, but actually, she was in Miami Swim Week with me.
Oh, okay.
And I watched her walk, but I didn't get to spend time with her. But yeah, we still talk, and all the girlies and I keep up, which is really great and really refreshing. We had such a good season of girls.
It's like a sisterhood in a way. Like you kind of like you really bond over that, and you really stick together. In that way.
It's such a weird experiment, and to be able to come out of something like that with such good girlfriends is so special. So I'm so grateful.
I love that for you. So you were kind of in a love triangle with Jimmy and Jessica, but were you aware that he was talking with her and what was going on between them and how they fell in their connection, or did it impact your connection with him at all, like once you found out?
There was one day, and it was right before proposal day, that we were really getting to the nitty gritty. And that is when he told me he was going to have an uncomfortable situation with Jess. So, and he's vocalized who it was. So that was news. And unfortunate, you know, we both had a very uncomfortable conversation with, okay, like, this is it. And, you know, I'm talking to Trevor, and he knew I was talking to Trevor as well, because the boys were way more open about it than the girls were.
Yeah.
So, you know, we had a conversation about cutting off who our last, you know, pick was. And that sucks for someone, you know? And so, it was unfortunate, but it didn't affect, like, at that moment when I found out it was Jess he was talking to, we both decided like we were picking each other. So yeah, that was a journey.
You're absolutely right when you say that this is like the Hunger Games, because now that you describe it, I'm like, there's so much strategy here.
Oh my gosh, it's wild. It's so wild.
Did you have like an agenda every single day of like what you needed to do and like, you know, who exactly you needed to talk to? Or was it just like you pick like who exactly you want to talk to and then that's that?
You know, you have to rank people, which is so awful. So you get to know who you're seeing the next day, but they also have to rank you. So if you say I was picking Jimmy and he wasn't picking me, I wouldn't see him again. So it was always meeting people who wanted to see you as well. So I used my time as much as I could, and I was dating 3 people very seriously and there was no agenda. It was just, can we get to this point? And I want to know about your family. I want to know about your hobbies. I want to know about where do you see your future? And if I can't get or envision that with someone, then, you know, I sadly had to remove myself from that situation. And, you know, Jimmy and Trevor both painted 2 totally different pictures, but they both fit into my life so well. I can't even explain it. It is so weird. So I really wanted to see both up until the last second, and I did, and I'm so grateful I did.
Yeah, absolutely. Did coming out of the pods, did you have like a different reaction to each person, like to Jimmy and Trevor? Like, was one standing out more to you than the other?
In person?
Yes.
I mean, yeah, they're both very, very, very different in the sense of, you know, they love differently, and they obviously look differently and have different lives. And so it was interesting to put a face to the person that you've really got to know. Like, a lot of people don't understand, our pod dates would get up to 6 hours.
Wow.
So you're sitting in this cubicle with nothing else to distract you and really getting to know these people. So yeah, putting a face to them, it was just crazy. It was wild. It was really, really wild.
Oh, I'm sure. So let's talk about more of the behind the scenes. Did the presence of, I know you're currently in a relationship, but if the opportunity did present itself, would you go on to another reality TV show? And if so, which one would you pick?
I would definitely do another one. I really would like to do Traders. You know, something challenging. I don't really know. I think that would put me out of my comfort zone. And so, not that this didn't, but I would like to see and really push my limits on something like that. So who knows?
Sure.
Who knows? The future is, you know, I know nothing.
The possibilities are endless.
Endless. So I'm just very, you know, I'm in this whole stage of my life where I'm saying yes and just putting myself in uncomfortable situations and really seeing what comes from them. So yeah. Hopefully.
Yeah, absolutely. So when you got out of the pods and you get moved in with Jimmy and things are going as they are going, was there ever... Yeah.
That's a good word.
Yeah. Was there ever like a moment where you were like very like swayed, like, okay, this could actually be the one? Or like, were you like, okay, like I'm still kind of in between, like, what is happening here?
Yeah.
Or were you kind of just going with it?
It was such a weird experience in the sense of like, you're thrown, I hate saying this because I chose to do it, but you're thrown into this situation. And now I thought for sure, there's no way I'm getting engaged. There's no way I'm going to put myself out there. I'm going to be myself. I'm going to go and be totally open-minded and have an open heart. And lo and behold, I did get engaged, which was amazing. And following that through and really, really seeing this person for who he was and trying and, you know, living together, like you're so uncomfortable, but you're so comfortable at the same time. And you're envisioning, you know, things that you envisioned in the pods, but now you're envisioning in real life. It was really cool.
Yeah.
But what a mental, like, it was so draining mentally trying to figure out like what is best for me, because I love him and I said yes to an engagement. I need to see this through. So obviously you guys saw our journey was not easy at all. And, you know, seeing it through, I think we both were really trying our hardest to like oversee certain things and really, really try, because we both said yes to an engagement, you know, and that's just in my character to just follow through and really try. And I did my best.
Yeah.
I did my best.
You did your best.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I really find it interesting that like the show will be like, okay, we're going to put you in these like pods, and then we're going to take you and put you like in a vacation sort of setting.
Yeah.
And then you get back into the real world.
Yeah.
And things get real. Real life gets real. Other people start coming into the picture. People that like, you know, other people might have been friends with.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
You're like, did you guys have something?
Yeah, totally. And you bet your bottom dollar, I will always question that. Like,
absolutely.
It's respect, and I would respect you and tell you if that were the case. And so, you know, people, you know, going off on that a little bit, people were so mad that I brought up that on camera. And at the end of the day, it's like, this is our real life. This is our real relationship. This is the biggest issue we're facing right now. And to not address that, and people think I'm just, you know, pulling, you know, trying to find something from you. This is a huge issue for me. And was it appropriate to mention on camera? No, absolutely. And I wish it was approached differently, but it wasn't. And yeah, so those were real life struggles. And I think that's something that I get a lot of feedback from too, is women are like, thank you so much for having the courage to just really talk about something that made you uncomfortable. And I'm grateful I did. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, how did the lack of physical interaction in the pods impact your emotional connection with the other two contestants, especially when seeing everybody in person for the first time?
It's so amazing. It's so cool to really take and put everything else behind you and only get to know someone. You don't get to know, you know, what you love about their appearance or their eyes or their smile. You really get to know this person and the things they love and you know, what they like to do and how their family dynamic is. Like everything that makes that person who they are. There's no distractions. And that's why I stand by Love is Blind. It's just so, it works. And I think removing everything just really gets you into that person's soul. And that was my goal.
So do you believe that love is blind?
I mean, not in my circumstance, but, you know, I take that back. You know, I love Jimmy as a person and respect him. And yeah, I just think people work for a reason and people don't. So yeah.
I think you deserve better than him personally, but that's just my opinion.
Well, he's doing he's happy
doing
now.
very well.
Yes. He has a beautiful girlfriend who's wonderful. So
have you met her?
Yes, she's lovely.
That's great.
Yeah, and then people are like, oh, here you are being the same as his friends. I'm like, no, because I respect.
Yes.
I have respect, and I will always respect that relationship. So yeah.
Period.
Yeah, period.
You are such a girl's girl. I love you.
Die hard.
Oh my gosh. Well, we're going to take a quick break here.
Yeah.
We're going to talk more about your future endeavors, upcoming things that you might have. So stay tuned for more on We Talk Raw and on Chelsea Blackwell, and we'll see you back here in just a moment. Yay. Welcome back to this week's segment of What's Trending Now on rBeatz Radio, Media, and Streaming Network. Take it away, Greasy! Thank y'all so much for tuning in, and now let's get started on our upcoming local, national, and international concerts. Starting off with Gracie Abrams, who's performing at Madison Square Garden for the Secret of Us tour, taking place on Monday, July 28th and 29th. Doors open at 8 p.m. You can get your tickets at msg.com. Greasy, what's your favorite Star Wars movie?
You know what? My favorite Star Wars movie is A New Hope, the OG Star Wars.
It's a classic, of course. Tsunami, who's making big waves, is headed to Black Box Charlotte for her Club TSU tour and performing her set on Friday, July 18th. Doors open at 10 p.m. You can get your tickets at blackboxcharlotte.com. Greasy, who's an artist you know who's making big waves right now?
I gotta shout out the band Fat Waffle. They got a new album out and they are kick and tell. Wish them all the best.
Absolutely, streaming them all on all streaming platforms. Rufus Du Sol is headed to the Rose Bowl in the Palladium, California for Inhale Exhale World Tour, taking place on Saturday, August 16th. Doors open at 7:30 p.m. You can get your tickets at Ticketmaster.com. Greasy, ever been to California?
You know, I haven't had the pleasure to make it there yet, but one of these days I'll be in the Golden State.
Absolutely, I smell a road trip. This is Annaliese Pearl bringing you all the new details on the latest trending water cooler conversations and Greasy Keys. Stay on top of the rBeatz app at rBeatz.com. Always bringing you the best independent national and international music artists. Constant influences are on the rBeatz app. You all know the drill. Now let's get started with this week's DJ World Beats top trending songs. Spinning now on 25/8 366, our global pop stream, DJ World Beats brings you Red Eye by Darcy, Candy by Claudia Valentina. We got Paradise by DJ Snake featuring Bipolar Sunshine. Catchin' Feelings by Christy and the Queens and Chiron. When We're Sober by Erica Tham. And trending now on rBeatz Radio, our house and EDM stream, we have The Champ by Kashmir and Rios The Champ. We Own the Night by Black Atlantis. Go DJ by DJ Vortex, Gigi Love, and Simon J on the Burglar remix. Coming up on We Global Radio, our hip hop and R&B stream, we have D2F by Lost Girl. We've got Forever My Moment by T Grizzly. We have Sport by Shark. And then coming up here, we have Boogie, Get Down, and Awe by Lord Keys. And then we have When I'm With You by Lisa featuring Tyla. Closing out on USA Heroes, our classic rock and country station, we have The Sun by Brittany Broski. And a new classic by Miley Cyrus, Easy Lover. And this concludes this week's countdown. Be sure to check out our social media sensation show, What's Trending Now. And be sure to check out RBTZ TV on YouTube and rBeatz.com. And be sure to check out Greasy Keys' new show, The Watch List, right here on rBeatz.com. That's it for now. Take it away, Greasy.
This tree, it seemed betrayed, it felt bereft. Put down your load and sing with me. I did, I stayed and never left. The tree said, look into my eyes and we will harmonize. The tree said, listen to my leaves rustle, together let's do the hustle. The tree said, how about you breathe in and I'll breathe out. The tree said, look into my eyes and we will harmonize. The tree said, listen to my leaves rustle, together let's do the hustle. The tree said, how about you breathe in and I'll breathe out. Ooh, you breathe in and I'll breathe out. Ooh, 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 ooh.
Welcome to the age of virtually unlimited access to film, television, and music video content. We enjoy media anywhere, anytime, delivered on web TVs, laptops, to tablets and smartphones. It's almost perfect. Introducing the next evolution of popular culture, Popology. An innovative media utility that consolidates all of your online memberships and subscriptions into a single powerhouse of infinite creative opportunities. Deploy customized micro-broadcasts to your choice of social networking platforms. Generate a fan base for your curated and self-created media. And earn rewards by selecting the brand commercials relevant to your life from within your personal micro-broadcast. Popology is your outlet to express your study and science of popular culture.
It's alive! It's alive! It's alive!
Access on your terms. You design your whole experience. This is Popology, the only place to exchange a micro-broadcast, chat about entertainment and popular culture, or simply watch infinite streaming content with others across the globe. One easy-to-use application to select and enjoy films, television, music, and so much more.
Mrs. Robinson, you're trying to seduce me.
Popology is the portal to experience and utilize unlimited content and share it with your social networks.
I have a feeling we're not in Kansas anymore.
Popology is all about customization and your story. Set up your inner pop sphere to organize content your way. Easily integrate other pop spheres within yours, for you and your audience.
You're gonna need a bigger boat.
That's only the beginning. Be more than a passive consumer of entertainment. You are a popologist.
You talking to me?
Learn and earn a Popology U production certification from the most creative minds in the entertainment business and pop culture.
All right, Mr. DeMille, I'm ready for my close-up.
Explore becoming an expert on mass appeal. This is the future. See, think, do. And entertainment and science will never be the same. Popology. Go ahead.
Welcome back to We Talk Raw, where we are here with the fantastic and amazing Chelsea Blackwell from Love is Blind Season 6. Hey, how you doing?
Good, how are you?
Love is Blind. Oh my gosh. So let's talk about kind of after the show and everything like that. How did you as a person, like, you're seeing all this online hate, which is just so unnecessary, by the way. Did that change how you approach your life and what you did and didn't do in your day-to-day life?
Absolutely not. So for the haters out there, you're not affecting me.
Period. We love it.
No, it was really interesting because, doing something like this, you are opening, you're showing the world your heart, and they're either going to like you or they're not going to like you. And not that I am conceited by any means. I'm confident, which is so wild that I'm painted as something so opposite. I was so confident in myself that, people are going to see that I'm just here for love, and I really, want to find someone, and, this is my last chance and my last hope at it. I think, people might resonate with me because I'm not the picture perfect influencer girl. Like, I'm just regular. I'm just trying to find me a man.
Exactly.
And I felt relatable, and I've watching reality TV myself, I've always wanted someone who I can relate to, and I just thought it was going to be so hopeful that maybe I could be that for women. It was not like that at all. So getting that hate, mind you, it wasn't all hate. There was so much love as well, which I was so focused on way more than the hate. I've just learned dealing with it. These people are so sad. They're so sad.
They're so sad.
So it's just more unfortunate that people feel the need to go on and absolutely destroy someone. So I've never let it affect me. I've never let it make me think differently about who I am. They don't know my soul. They don't know my heart. And at the end of the day, you just have to remember that. And anyone dealing with hate or bullies or anything along those lines, they don't know who you are. And if you forget who you are, then that's when it's really gonna affect you.
Yeah, absolutely. And you've handled it with such grace and such poise. And I'm so proud of you for continuing to do like what it is you're doing, and be like, hey, this is wrong. We need to stop this. We need to actually spread love. And
and there's no time for that. I mean, like we were saying, in this economy,
we don't
need to hate. We do not need to be hating. No. We have too much stress going on. And there's so many things too that this has opened doors for me in the sense of ending online bullying. So I think that's something in a new endeavor I'm going to take on, and it'll be really cool because I have seen, I've seen some stuff, and we're going to end it. So there's no need.
Well, how do you feel about Megan Fox actually commenting on the whole situation? Like, how did that make you feel?
That was so unreal. Like, what? I'm sorry. Like, I didn't even care that she knew the situation. I mean, I'm so embarrassed, because she was attached to my name for so long. God bless her. So sorry, Megan. But she is a girl's girl. So it was really, really, really cool to see her just acknowledge it and just know, I didn't say I was her specifically, or I looked exactly like her. So for her to just say, don't stop bullying, stop. What are you doing? It was really, really, really cool.
I'm gonna manifest this for you, a Megan Fox collab.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Like,
they tried so hard.
Yes.
They tried to get like her makeup artist, and I was so close.
You were so
but,
close.
yeah.
Oh my gosh. Okay, well, Megan, if you're watching this, please.
Yes, I'll say yes. Could you imagine?
Absolutely.
No, I don't have time for Megan right now.
Yeah, right, exactly. Well, like, let's talk about like your social media career now.
Yeah.
Like, what's going on there? Like, what are some upcoming projects that you can like tease and spill about?
Yeah, this is such a surreal place for me. I never in a million years imagined I would be in this spot, and it's so cool and so fun to explore and have a community online. It's just been so cool to build and connect with other women. So that's been really special, and I never in a million years thought that I would leave my job. I even came online and I was like, listen, I don't have any plans to leave being a flight attendant, but praise the good Lord above, I set myself up. So we're here and we're loving it, and we're loving meeting with people, and I have a podcast as well. So
Oh my gosh.
So it's not relaunched just yet, but it's in the works, and it will be here sooner than later, hopefully.
Yeah. Well, can you give more details about that? Like, talk to me about like what you hoped for this podcast to be and all the future endeavors.
Yeah, it's really just a lifestyle, loving yourself, self-growth, and just really finding your inner confidence and loving yourself, loving your life, and just seeing the beauty in life. That we all have, things going on and stress and everything that's so negative. And I just really want to be a positive impact to the world and women. So absolutely. It would be really cool.
Yeah, I'm really excited to hear all about it. I'm really excited to see all of those future things that you've got going on. So let's talk about like you and like love right now. So how has being part of the show changed your perspective on love and relationships?
Oh my gosh. Well, it really put me in such an uncomfortable situation where I was able to kind of take a step back and realize what I really want in a partner and what I'm missing, and what I need to work on for myself. We all have inner work and everything. We're not perfect all the time. We're not perfect ever, really. So having this mindset of always wanting to improve on yourself, it really just put something in my head like, hey sis, you got some inner demons. You have to fight those right now before you meet someone else and bring them into that. And I think that's something that a lot of people struggle with all the time sometimes, arguing with partners or having so many failed relationships. You got to work and fight those inner demons before you can really allow and love yourself and allow yourself to be loved by someone else. So,
absolutely.
Yeah.
I think that's like a perfect answer to describe, like, because online dating, especially nowadays, is just like...
I couldn't.
It's just, it's so difficult.
Yeah. We won't be back out there.
Not anytime soon.
No, even if, relationships are hard and we're in a little pickle at the moment, but even if that didn't work out, we would not be on dating apps.
Right.
No way.
Exactly.
No way.
Yeah. So how did you meet your current man? Can we talk about that, or are you kind of like, you want to keep that a little bit?
I mean, I met him on Bumble, actually, and that will be the last chance I ever give dating apps.
Love that. Yeah.
Yeah. We met on Bumble. We've been together over a year. And just relationships are hard. So sometimes you just have to take a step back and focus on yourself for a little bit. So I think we're here right now, both of us, and who knows what the future has.
Absolutely.
So,
yes.
Yeah.
You are still, young and thriving and doing all of the things that you want to be doing.
Yeah.
So, what advice would you give for someone who wants to apply for Love is Blind?
Yeah, I'm getting so many DMs from women and men who are, really looking into it. I highly suggest really knowing what you want, really knowing who you are, loving yourself, setting yourself up a really good foundation before you even try. That's something I really wish I took a step back and was like, all right, wait, this could really happen. Yes. And I was ready to meet someone. I would never put myself in a situation where I wasn't. Right. But you got to be 1,000%. Make sure you don't have a boyfriend or girlfriend. And then apply and then go from there. Right. Yeah. I think just really being secure with who you are as a person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, now that you mentioned that,
oh my gosh, I'm scared. Oh, shoot.
I'm kidding. If you don't want to talk about it, we don't have to.
It wasn't me.
Yeah, no, I was like, but like, what were your thoughts on that?
It was so strange, man. It was so weird. I'm like, I lost. It was a lose-lose regardless, you know?
Yeah.
So I praise God I didn't have to get myself into an even stickier situation. So, you know, we pray for him every day.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, wishing all the best
the best.
Absolutely.
Yes. Wishing you well.
Yes. If I don't, you took a yoga, like, instruction class, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I am a yoga teacher.
Yeah, you are a yoga teacher.
Yeah.
Are you still like involved in that?
Oh gosh, I wish. No, I went to Core Power. I did all the things. I loved it. I had so much fun doing it, but I barely had time to eat right now, sister. So
you're so booked and busy. You're catching one flight after the next.
It's been great. It's been really great. Yeah.
What's on your bucket list right now, travel wise?
Shoot, I'm really trying to. This is actually really weird because Love Island, but I'm really trying to go to Fiji.
Yes,
like, just like so unreal, or Bali or something. I don't know. There's so many things I want to do, and now I'm able to focus on it. And really, you know, a lot of my content is travel related, which is really cool. So I'm trying to expand that as well.
Absolutely, you're definitely getting into vlogging, like we were talking about. Like, what's the main thing that you're hoping to incorporate while vlogging, or just like any travel ideas or anything like that?
I mean, honestly, just real life. I'm so sick of going online and seeing these, and it's no shade to anyone. We're all trying to out here, you know, survive. Honestly, I'm so sick of seeing these picture perfect, you know, just everything is just beautiful and aesthetic, and I just want to show you my life. It's not aesthetic and it's not perfect, and there's so many times where, you know, I won't record myself crying, but there's so many crash outs happening, and you know, I just want to show the real side of life, and if anyone relates, and I want it to be relatable and reachable rather than this unreachable picture perfect life. So yeah, I think just showcasing who I am.
Absolutely. Well, since we were talking about Love Island, what do you make of Huda and like all of the endeavors and everything that has been going on there? Because we talked about it a little bit off break, but I want to know like your thoughts about everything that's going on.
It is wild. It's nuts to see. I think I'm really tainted from reality TV, so it took me a while to start Love Island because also I get so overwhelmed. There's an episode every night. Yes. So Wednesday?
Yeah.
What if I like miss a week? Then I have so many to catch up on. It gives me a little bit of anxiety, but I have been enjoying it and watching it. People need to remember these are real people.
Absolutely.
These are real 100%. People, and they're just trying to find their way in life. This is a really, really scary territory. There's cameras everywhere. They don't know what the world's thinking of them. So just be kind, people. Please be kind.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, that's all I have to say about that.
You didn't have your phone when you were on the show, did you? Or
we had our phone when we lived in the townhouses.
Okay, gotcha.
And that was it. So not the vacation, not the pods. Yeah,
that definitely adds like a whole nother level of stress.
It was amazing.
Oh, it was amazing.
Incredible. Everyone else was losing their mind. I'm like, this is refreshing. I'm like, I love this.
It's like, let's be unplugged forever. Thank goodness.
Yes, it was like 2 weeks, but it was incredible. Oh my gosh, I loved it.
I love it. And you're getting a free vacation essentially on top of that.
It was so great. Yeah. It was so great.
I love that.
No complaints.
Period. Yes. So, yeah. What type of other... Okay, so how is being... Well, what type of projects do you have coming down the pipeline, like that you feel like, or what other like brand partnerships that you might be able to share coming up here soon?
There's some really fun ones.
Yeah.
I think this is actually really crazy, but you know, the show's been out 1.5 years and I'm really taking off right now, which is really, really special and really cool. So I'm really embracing everything that has been coming my way, and there's really cool, exciting things happening. So just kind of, you know, riding the wave and seeing where I fit in this world and belong.
Absolutely. And we love that.
Yeah.
So Chelsea, where can people find you? Where can people find like where you are on social media and everything like that?
Yeah. All of my handles are Chelsea D Blackwell, which is really cool. My podcast is Rugged and Radiant every Friday. Starting soon. I'll have a launch day. But yeah, that's about it. You know, if you want to follow some fun, realistic, embarrassing, just real life relatable stories. And I'm your girl.
Perfect. Well, where does that name come from? Rugged and Radiant? Is that what it is?
Rugged and Radiant.
Rugged and
so
Radiant.
that is actually my wedding planning business as well. So I feel like I'm rugged at heart, and I like, classic rock. I like tattoos. I like just being that rugged girl that I've always been. And then Radiant. I feel like I have, a girly side, and I'm radiant, and I think that it just fit me perfectly.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited for you. Chelsea, thank you so much for being with us today. And thank you so much for talking about Love is Blind and everything else that's coming for you. I'm so excited for this podcast and upcoming endeavors that you have. So thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much for having me. This is amazing. Thank you.
Thank you so much for watching here on We Talk Raw. And thank you so much to rBeatz Radio. And we'll catch you all next time. Bye.
Bye.
Yeah, 316. Got game and pulled out his own Atari. I said sorry, I'ma have to pass like Nash to Amari. Tiger up early on a Sunday, sinking birdies while the pigskin spinning through the air, taking birdie. It's a TD, it's a TKO, a home run, it's a hat trick. Ain't no way to be an all-star without practice. So if you down to sacrifice your life for a draft pick, it's a pretty sweet position. You can live it if you have some things in the air. If you got game, waving like you just don't care. If you got game, playing like you got no fit, and you got